We are now live in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. And you might be wondering, where was the announcement? Well, for good reasons. We're going to get to that later. But we've got a lot to talk about, especially with this man, because this man has been front and center when it comes to the backyard wrestling circuit. And it's still fresh in the minds of so many. Just a few short weeks ago at the historic LBYW Haunted Hellfest 5, how this man started the show and wrestled the Alpha, but then afterwards joined the Reapers, and it's addition by subtraction. He'll talk about that. He'll talk about why he joined those Reapers. He'll also talk about what he did tonight at the historic SBW Back Off 3, where he showed Mr. Sore that, well, the only thing he's soaring down is, well, the ladder when it comes to another crack at his championship gold. We'll also bring up some other names that you've heard of recently. Well, this guy, Kurt Adams, who this man hates, and I'm going to make sure that I have the beep button right next to me when that name comes up. We'll also talk about maybe this guy, Bane X, and what on earth's going on there. We'll also talk about maybe some usuals, like, oh, I don't know, this psychotic freak who's now joined the promo wrestling world and now seems to be really on a crash collision course with this guy that our guest met in this name Comatose, who calls himself the King of the West, the GOAT of BYW. But there's only one SBW Undisputed Champion. There's only one that's the best in the live of the 605, and there's only one man that has conquered Dakota. He'll talk about all that, plus who knows whatever else. But we're not going to back off here tonight. But I'm going to give this man that championship-like introduction, because if I don't, he may come to my home and do what he did to Mr. Sore tonight. And we certainly don't want that. And we certainly don't want to turn into, well, maybe that Wilster who was in the Reapers. And well, like I said, addition by subtraction. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't need no freak math for this. Let's start this show off here in style on Sportzwire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one global sports show, the man that sits on the top of the throne in the 605 because he's the best of alive in the 605. He's also a part of the most premier faction right now in backyard wrestling, those North Dakota Reapers. He is the reigning, defending SBW Undisputed Champion. His name is simply put the one and only Ray Bates! The undisputed champ is here! My friend, how are we doing?
You know, we are doing fantastic tonight, Reverend. We are doing fantastic tonight. You know, tonight was an amazing night for the one, the only. Among many other things that have happened these last few weeks, all right, tonight was the cherry on top for Riley Bates in his career. All right,
You
which
having a
chair?
celebratory fudge brownie? I could see.
I
Look,
am,
that
yes.
looks like you know what that looks like. I could be wrong. That looks like a little Debbie fudge brownie.
I think it is actually. I'm gonna be
Because
honest
I
with you.
know
I think
those are the cosmic fudge brownies.
they
Listen,
are. Yes, they are.
there's
They are.
some little
Yeah, yeah.
Debbie. Listen, I remember as a kid eating them, and I see them in Target all the time, and will get a stomach ache. So you can eat them for me, but
You
obviously, you enjoy them. But let's talk a lot. We have a lot to talk about here today. We have SBW. We have those Reapers. We have some usual names that'll come up here, I'm sure, over the next hour. But I want to start off here, especially for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you, SBW, LBYW, and those Reapers have certainly helped build. Sportswire Radio. Talk to me about how it feels to have retained your SBW World and Union Championships at Back Off 3.
My man, it was amazing. These last few weeks I had to put up with an annoying little SHI not double hockey sticks, a SHIT known as Mr. Store. All right, in his little piss hint high flying BS, and these last few weeks he's been a thorn on my side ever since. I'm going to take this back, Reverend. I'm going to take this back probably 2 years, 3 years now, maybe, to Wrestle of Fame 2, when myself and Mr. Soar fought for this championship, the Union Championship, fought for it, and I retained a little bit of controversy, sure.
We're going to show the match. We're going to show it for sure in a minute.
Yes, retained. I won back my championship after Mr. Sore beat me at Break Loose in a ladder match. I won back my championship, held this sucker for 2 years, came back, and Mr. Sore now somehow just wanted his rematch. These last 3 weeks, he's been wanting his rematch. He fought me on Unstoppable number 2 and rolled me up, Reverend, for the 1, 2, 3, and was able to get his match at Back Off in the main event versus me. And what happened? Riley Bates, the best wrestler alive in the 605, the world and Union champion, did what I always do. Tonight at Back Off, I beat Mr. Sore. I beat him fair and square, hit him with a pop the can, 1, 2, 3. Riley Bates is still here tonight, your SBW World and Union Champion. Undisputed champion, baby, and there's nothing no one can say about it.
Obviously, you and I were talking about this before we went on the air, and we were talking about the back and forth that you and Mr. Soar had, and you would think after that how Mr. Soar had kind of stormed off in your contract signing there, that maybe there would have been something that would have given him some added fuel. But we're going to show the footage as to why you were on top and retained your championship. You've been very busy these last few weeks, no question about that. Yeah. These last few weeks, and multiple companies obviously making a lot of waves, as you always have done in the backyard wrestling circuit.
I have, yes.
Yeah. Well, we're going to show the footage here now. I'm going to pull it up, especially for those that are listening and watching, and I'm going to get right to it. And I have it right queued up. There we go. Okay, we're going to pull it right back up. So we're going to go right in here. I'm going to go cut it. I'm going to copy and paste, because that's the magic of technology, sharing the screen. And there we are. And this is hot off the presses. And there you are. And talk to me about what we're seeing and what can we expect here coming up.
You see, so what I'm doing right now is, a lot of people hate what I'm doing right now. I'm running my mouth. I'm telling the people why Mr. Sore ain't going to win. And I do this every single match. Every single match I'm in, I tell the masses why they're not going to win. And it's simple. It's point blank simple. And the reason why is because they aren't Riley Bates. The reason why is because they're not holding those 2 championships that I have around my waist that I'm holding in my hands right there, right now. They aren't the World and Union champion. Yes.
You're the champ.
Yeah, they aren't the champion. And as I'm pacing here, I'm trying to figure out, what am I going to do first? Am I going to slap the taste out of his mouth? Am I going to kick him where the sun don't shine, still retain my championships, just don't want to have a match? But no, I decide to give Mr. Sore the benefit of doubt with a collar and elbow tie-up, and I just push him to the ground. Reason why is because he ain't Riley Bates, and he should have known it better. He should have learned his lesson all the way back at Wrestle of Fame. And instead, we just brought it out right here, right now. And I'll give, you know what, for the last 7 years, almost a decade, Reverend, I will give Mr. Soar his flowers right here, right now. He has been the underdog in SPW. He has been the underdog. He has held the Union Championship multiple times, several times, has held it, has been a fan favorite in SPW. But the moment it came for Riley Bates to be the champion, to be on top, to be in his rightful place where he should have always been, and that is the main event spot, being the main event guy, being the face of SPW. The moment it came to that, Mr. Soar was dropped down. He should know his place, and his place in SPW is at the bottom of the barrel, is at the bottom of
he's
the
at the bottom of the rope right now.
The bottom of the rope. And I'll tell you what, if I had 10 more minutes with Mr. Soar, all right, if I had 10 more minutes with Mr. Soar, I would show him exactly where on that canvas he should be. And I'll tell you this right now, if I didn't pick him up, and actually...
Well, you got some smart offense. I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
for starting the match, you're definitely looking to wear down your opponent. I see that there's a certain strategy that you have in this match, is that you want to take the arsenal away from your opponent. You want to certainly wear him down. You want to methodically work a pace that you like and hope that that would gain to your advantage and eventually take away as much as possible that high-flying game that Mr. Soar has, because after all, he is Mr. Soar. So I think that you have a strategy that you've implemented here so far in these first few minutes.
You are correct, and I'll tell you what, he's a little worm when it comes to putting him in holds. He's a little worm. He likes to squiggle out of things like a little snake, a slithy little snake. And I'm surprised I got the headlock on him so damn tight, because he could have gotten out of it, and I just had to give him a punch there for good measure, just because, you know, he's a little snake. You just gotta hit him where the sun don't shine. Hit him where he doesn't have any brain cells, and that's what I did right there.
Like I said, you're working again very smart, efficiently. You have a certain style. You that's what you want, and you're wearing down your opponent. You're basically taking him away. You're taking his ground game away, and you're basically, to quote the old New York Jets style under Rex Ryan, it's ground and pound. You are when the Jets actually won football games. That was a long time ago, a generation ago at this point. But you are ground and pounding Mr. Soar so far, and I think that's where we are in the match at the moment.
Yeah, and
there you go again. You're using your strength.
Yeah. See, I'll say this: Mr. Soar could have won the match here tonight if it weren't for that referee. That referee, it must have been his first day on the job, because that was a clear, definite roll-up. And I'll tell you what, I'm glad that referee didn't start counting when he did, because if he did, I probably wouldn't be here world and union champion. But that's not the point. The point is that Mr. Soar should have known his place. And Mr. Soar's place is, like I said, at the bottom of the totem pole. And every time Mr. Soar gets right back up, Riley Bates is going to be there to get Mr. Soar right back down at the bottom of the mat. And with that elbow, I did exactly that. And I'll say this, Reverend. If Mr. Soar wanted a shot, he's not going to get one. But if he wanted a shot against Riley Bates ever again, he has to know a couple things. And it's 4 simple things. I think Jim, I could get his last name wrong, but I know his first name. Jim Croc.
In another company they have it's Jim Bob, and a company that from a guy who calls himself the King of the West. They have their own referee named Jimbo. Just leave that at that.
But Jim Croc, I think, said it best. You don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spit directly into the wind. You don't pull the mask off of the own Lone Ranger. And you sure as hell don't mess around with the one, the only Riley Bates, kid. All right? It's simple as that. And if Mr. Soar doesn't follow those 4 rules, especially the last one, he ain't going to get another shot against Riley Bates for the SPW World and Union Championship.
Well, it's, again, very smart offense so far. We see you implementing different things. Like I said, submission holds. We see DDTs just there. We certainly see a strategy that you're implementing, and we're here with the reigning defending SBW World and Union Champion. He is the one and only Riley Bates. He is the best wrestler alive in the 605. I knew I messed up a word or two in that intro, but we're
All
very
fine.
happy to have him back here on Sportswire Radio. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally where all music and wrestling matters. And here you are again. And I mean, you've wrestled someone like Mr. Soar so many times. So I ask you then, did you have to go back and go watch the footage when you wrestle somebody like this that you've wrestled as many times, or is it a different type of pace each time you go out there that you look to implement?
I would say that I checked the tape, I watched the tape, but that's a player of the game type of mentality. And when you're the one, the only, you don't have that mentality. Your mentality going into every single match is that it's going to be your win. It's going to be your time. It's going to be your moment to shine. There ain't no 15 minutes because when you're on the clock, you get all the time in the world. That's what Riley Bates' mindset is in every single match. So when I'm facing someone like Mr. Soar or Kurt Adams or Bane X, or even if it's a new kid on the block, I will face them with the same mentality as that they're not World or Union champion. They're not Riley Bates. They're not the best wrestler alive. They're not the one, the only. They're none of that. All they are is a guy trying to steal my spotlight. All they are is a guy who's trying to take the money off of my plate. All they are is a guy who is trying to steal my place. My place, my rightful place of being the number one guy in SBW. And if they try to do that, I got to be the guy to shut them down. I got to be the guy to put them in their place. So everything I'm doing in this match has a purpose. The chops, the kicks, the technical ability. I'll say this, a lot
The
of people say
bulldog
that
there
I'm
is a nice little bulldog
yes,
you just did there.
yes. See, a lot of people want to say that I am a technical wrestler at its finest, and I am that, Reverend. I am a technical wrestler at its finest. I like to watch a lot of old wrestling. I like to watch a lot of Bryan Danielson. I like to watch a lot of stunning Steve Austin. I like to watch a lot of Bret Hart. I like to watch a lot of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And all of those people are great technical wrestlers. Stone Cold Steve Austin, but after the pile driver incident, not so much. But before then, 100% yes. 100% yes. So all of those people have a place in my heart whenever I come into those ring. And sometime I like to do some paying some homages. I think that's the word. Homages?
Yeah, yeah. You want to pay
Homages? Yeah.
homage, homage.
Homage. Thank
Hey,
you.
listen,
Thank you. Yeah.
we're even because I screwed up part of the intro for you, and I just added that. But we're gonna speed the footage up here shortly because there's something else I want to ask you related to SBW. But there's no question. Listen, Bret Hart is a name that has come up. I've been doing this for 7 years, and that's probably the wrestler that gets mentioned most here. But your opponent has come back a little bit here, and I'm gonna speed the footage up here a little bit because I got to get to a couple things here. And now we're back toward the second half to the finish of the match, and here we are right now. And you've got your opponent a little bit back to where you want your opponent, right on those ropes and at the
Yeah.
bottom of them. And there's your game there. There's your own arsenal, and that's a nice cannonball there. Shades of Sean Jovi, a dear friend of mine, and yours though I think is probably just right in front though of whereas Mr. Jovi does it in just slow motion. You just go right for the jugular there with yours.
Oh yeah, 100% full motion, freight train, no slowing down. That's what I like to do on them cannonballs. But the one thing that I will say about my wrestling style is I don't know if you noticed there, Reverend. I am not the tallest one out of the bunch when it comes to everybody here in backyard wrestling and the professional wrestling scene. I'm not the tallest one out of the bunch, so. Here and then, my style and my strategies of wrestling and versus my opponents, they do happen to change up a little bit. But
Obviously,
I'll
obviously.
tell you what, this move right here has not changed up a bit, and I should really
Ah,
stop doing it because every time I do, it is
yeah, that's
the
pain.
well is dry. It is painful. It is dry. I hate it every time, and
You
But
reminded me of D'Lo Brown there, but unfortunately, the lowdown didn't go on to Mr. Soar. You may have soared in thin air, but unfortunately, the only thing you hit is air, and that was your knee toward the mat. And definitely, I'm reminded of one of my favorite Scorpion songs, "No Pain, No Gain." And unfortunately, you did gain some pain, but we're now seeing that it's given Mr. Soar a little bit of an opening. So maybe you'll think about this next time. And now
yeah.
we're getting the old exchanging of the slaps and punches. And that's, we're some of our favorite parts in a wrestling match, no question.
Yes, and I got another Scorpion song for you. It's called "No One Like You," and
Yes, great song.
I wish everyone remembers me when I throw them punches. There's no one
Well, if
like
I
me.
get them
So
on my platform, I'm going to mention that Riley Bates loves this. No, I'm serious. I listen. I may get them on. So, if I get
yeah,
them on my platform at some point, I'll be sure to mention that. I promise you.
yeah, and I'll tell you what. Because all right. I was gonna go on some band references here, but
Go for
we're
it.
at
We're
at the end of the match.
on my platform. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm ready
I
for it.
was gonna say, see, Mr. Soar has a journey here, and it's any way he wants it, and any way he wants it is gonna be when Riley Bates beats him. And I'll tell you what, I was not expecting this, Reverend. I was not expecting this. And when I heard James the Bulldog Miles, Mr. Soar's brother's theme, I was thinking to myself, oh, great, I'm going to lose the match. I'm going to lose. These titles ain't coming home to me. But no, it's Rex Haymaker, and he's making his return. Soar pushes him
And
away.
wait a
Big
minute.
toss, and
Whoa.
Bates comes here. Bates comes in, the veteran maneuver, picks him up, pops
Oh,
the
there
can.
you go. You dropped him.
Riley
Stop, drop.
Bates. Yes,
Wow.
Riley Bates goes for the cover. Referee rings the
1,
bell because of a 1,
2,
a 2, a
2.
3,
There you go.
and Riley Bates is World and Union Champion. And I'll tell you what, there are no worlds apart nor separate ways where Riley Bates does not walk away World and Union Champion. That's
Well,
the
there you
journey.
have it. I mean, certainly that was quite a match, and it wasn't maybe as easy as it seemed at the beginning of the match, but nevertheless, the outcome is and still SBW undisputed champion, world and union champion Riley Bates, the one and only Riley Bates, and it was a hard fought victory, and you received those belts, and you're looking at, I guess, at first in disbelief, but nevertheless, I think you're a happy man, and you're certainly befuddled, understandably so, and
Yeah.
you retained your championship, and that's what it's all about, and you're about to hoist him on your shoulders, and understandably so.
Yes, and I had told Rex Haymaker, he's like, he said to me after the match, he's like, I looked him in the eyes, I looked him dead in the eyes, and I said, I don't want your help, and he said, you may not have wanted it, but you had gotten it. I never needed Rex Haymaker's help, and I'll tell you this: if Rex Haymaker wants to get in Riley Bates' business ever again, he's not going to only have to talk to Riley Bates. He's going to have to talk to every single person who I am going up against, because of the outcome, and I don't like to be a people person when it comes to my opponents, but
Mhm.
I'm just saying, if it comes to the outcome like what Mr. Soar had to deal with Rex Haymaker, for future reference, Rex Haymaker is not only going to have Riley Bates on his back, but he's also going to have everybody else who Rex Haymaker F's with as well.
Well, speaking of everybody else, I wanted to ask you about something, because before your match, there was another match which had a lot on the line, and that was, of course, Bane X and a man that I know you hate when I mention his name, Mr. Kurt Adams, who's going to be a topic, I'm sure, throughout the conversation. And we're watching these two men at war right now, and just wondering what your thoughts are and such, and what's about to come here soon and such.
My thoughts is on paper, this is a great match. A classic that has been told time and time again. A match that they have had, quite literally, their feud practically built SBW and BWF, and basically the whole foundation of South Dakota Backyard Wrestling is these two right here. If I would safe to say, and I don't want to say it, but I would say that if the top two feuds that basically built South Dakota Backyard Wrestling, number 2 is Riley Bates and Kurt Adams, and number 1 is Bane X and Kurt Adams. Number one. I would say that. I don't like to admit it, but I would say that. And I'll say this. I was watching in the back. I would have loved to beat up Kurt Adams one more time, put him in the
I
dirt.
knew you'd say that.
I would love to do that. But in the same breath, I would also love to beat up Baynex and put him in the dirt once and for all. But you see, the thing is, and what will happen here pretty shortly when we see the footage, what will happen here is that I unfortunately do not get to do any of that because the moment Kurt Adams puts his shoulders on the mat, Baynex falls over him and his shoulders are on the mat as well, making it a draw.
Yeah, because I was so curious because there's no winner. I mean, there was no winner in this match. Now, I'm sure that would make you a happy man, but eventually you have to I'm sure face someone and you have no love for both these men, but nevertheless, there's no winner. There's no winner here. And obviously I was just wondering, what do you think happens here now?
What happens is pretty much plain and simple. Since there's no winner, I don't have an opponent for the next pay-per-view that we have. So I guess count your losses, and Baynex, back of the line you go. Kurt Adams, back of the line you go, and whoever wants to step up and step forward to face Riley Bates, try your luck. And I'm just glad I don't have to face any of them.
So I was wondering then if you had anything to say to either of these men right now. If they were watching this, what would you like to say to them?
I would like to say that if it was Kurt Adams, sayonara, you big POS. I'm not facing you. It's going to
be a topic in about 25 minutes, I'm sure.
Yes. Sayonara, see you later. You had your time in SBW. You had your time in the main event. You had your time for the World Championship. You had your time for the Union Championship. And your time came and went. You had the spotlight in Backyard Wrestling for the last 2 years. 2 years, season 2 and the shakedown season in season 3. You had your time. And another man who also had his time is Baynex. You had your time in season 2 and season 3. Your time came and went for both of you. The guy is in the main event spot, Riley Bates, holding the World Championship and the Union Championship. The guy is here. Cena said it best. Your time is up. My time is now. And you guys can't see me now. So you guys are going in the back of the line where both of you belong. And Riley Bates is going to carry this company on his shoulders. Hands down.
You know what? And those are things you obviously have some very valid points to. And I'm sure undoubtedly we'll see if those things come to fruition. But apparently I have received word that there is an individual that wants to have a chat with you about some of the things you just said about those two men that we had no winner for that you would face. So I'm going to give this opportunity. I have no idea who it is. It could be anybody.
If it's Bagman, he can just pay me the $10,000, the bonus that I had. All right. He can just pay me the bonus. So,
well, you know what? I mean, I would love to tell you it's Bagman, but I have no idea who it is, because no one's told me, but I can now share my screen, because for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. Wait a minute.
My
God. I just saw him and sir, it's nice to meet you. And that was definitely out of left field. And I'm giving you the opportunity to speak with the one and only Riley Bates.
Well, Bates, I got great news.
It's not great when you're here.
It's always great when I'm here, first of all. But no, I got great news for you. Know how you were just saying that you don't have an opponent at the next pay-per-view?
What?
Me and Kurt, we talked to GM Paperbag Man. He didn't tell us exactly, but he told us that on Unstoppable, the situation will be addressed. And not only that, you will have an opponent. We don't know how it's going to be sorted, but you will have an opponent.
Whoa! You're not going to go unopposed. You're apparently going to get a challenger after all. We're going to find this out next show.
Isn't that great, Bates? I think it's phenomenal.
Wonderful. Just wonderful.
I know you're so happy.
I'm ecstatic. Yes.
If you're happy
Hmm.
and you know it, clap your hands, I guess. But I mean, this was
No.
definitely out of left field. I guess nice to meet you, Mr. X. And apparently Riley Bates can X off that he will be going unopposed because apparently we're going to find out what happens and who was your next challenger coming up, Riley. I guess this wasn't the news we had in mind tonight.
No, not the news we had in mind, or not the news that I wanted to hear, but know what? I am actually glad that you are here, Baynex. I am glad that you are here because whatever GM Bagman has in store for me next Unstoppable, I want you to know if he chooses you, or if he chooses Kurt, or if he chooses, let's say, both of you, all right? Let's say he chooses both of you. What will happen is what happened in the past. Wrestle of Fame 2, do you remember that? Because I remember that. I remember that plain as day. I remember that when I came into the middle of that ring, when it was you and Kurt Adams, I cashed in the glory briefcase, and I took this championship away from you two both in the same night, in the same match. I beat you both. And yet here I am, World and Union champion, and now you are going to try your luck at Riley Bates again. Hell, even Kurt Adams wants to try his luck at Riley Bates again. GM Bagman must love nostalgia. He must love nostalgia. But I'll tell you what, nostalgia only lasts so long. Nostalgia only lasts so long. And the future is right now, and the future is Riley Bates as World and Union champion. Baynex, you had your shot at the beginning of SBW. Do you remember that? The trampoline, the paper belts? You had your shot then, my friend. You had your shot. You left for some unknown reasons. You left, and now you're back. Now you're back trying to get at my spotlight and my championships. It's not going to happen, pal. And you could go tell Kurt Adams that. It's not going to happen. Because what's going to happen is history will repeat itself. Rather, if it's you, if it's Kurt, if it's miraculously both of you, Riley Bates is going to enter that ring. He's going to let that bell sound. And when that bell sounds one more time, Riley Bates is going to walk out still World and Union champion. And whether it be you or whether it be Kurt Adams or either of you or both of you, whatever it may be, you guys are going to be in the dirt 6 feet under, and Riley Bates will not have to worry about either of you ever again.
A rather defiant Riley Bates there, Baynex. He's even saying, listen, I'll take on both of you, and I'll put you in the ground while I'm doing it there. How do you feel?
That's a phenomenal idea. I don't know what GM Paper Bagman's idea was before, but maybe I take that idea to him. Maybe I take the idea to him that you defend it in a triple threat against both of us because you're so confident you can beat both of us. So thank you so much. I am going to go talk to him right now.
Wait.
Enjoy the show. And
before you leave, Mr. Bain, before you leave, did you just say that you're going to talk to the GM Bagman about making Riley Bates' next defense of that championship we just saw him retain against you and Kurt Adams?
Yeah, he's so confident. You heard him. He said he could beat both of us at once.
I mean, he was rather defiant, and I see some of your peers watching this here, Mr. Bates, and I didn't see this one at all coming, and nobody did. And if Mr. Bain X gets his way, Mr. X, you could be defending that championship against Bain X and Kurt Adams.
Your mouth gets you in trouble a lot, buddy.
Can you get him off the screen?
Mr. Bain, it's really nice to meet you. I hope to see you here maybe before this happens in the ring. And I guess we'll have to watch SBW. By the way, if you are here, do me a favor, hit this up. Actually, before stay for a minute, because I want to give SBW something. I know I got something for SBW. And I would be remiss if you didn't stay here for this. So I want to actually put my screen up here because I do have a chance, because it is... I see SBW talking here on Sportswire, and I want to now give this to you guys. Well, you can stay for this moment since you did give us some breaking news, and I'm going to share my screen because for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, it's SBW Day on Sportswire. I know Riley's not too happy right now about the news potentially he could be looking at, but it is SBW Day here on Sportswire Radio, and I know, Riley, what you were up, you were down, and I guess you soared a little bit back down after this news, but it is SBW Day, and we'll make sure to give I guess whoever it might be, this certificate. So hopefully SBW will take this and like to come back on Sportswire, despite Mr. Bates being not too happy after a defiant tone a few minutes ago.
Oh,
Well,
I'm happy SBW gets acknowledged on Sportswire. I'm not happy with you, Bane X. Not. I never am. And you
never
don't
are.
make everything better. You don't. I am. I'm not. I'm not.
what are
Okay,
you
I'm
eating
not.
there, by the way? You know, before you came on, Riley had a cosmic brownie, and what are you eating now?
Well, I would be drinking some vanilla vodka, celebrating my win, but
Well,
I don't know what's gonna happen, so
well,
I can't really do that. But
you
this,
didn't lose either. You didn't lose. I mean, you gotta.
but I gotta save it for a special occasion. So
Well, it looks like a zebra cake. That's what it
it
looks like. And
it
we
is a
didn't
zebra cake.
you guys are both Little Debbie fans, and that gives us a nod to why we like you guys. But I'll let you enjoy that zebra cake, and maybe we'll see you on Sportswire one of these days once again in a rather not a surprise, and
Yeah,
maybe we'll see you in maybe Riley Bates and Kurt Adams battle it out.
I hope we do.
I
I
hope so
really hope
too,
we
and I
do.
hope to see you again and enjoy. And I don't think Riley wants to talk to you anymore, so we'll just let you
He
go.
never does.
Well, some things never change, but
Yeah.
that is Bane X, who you'll eventually see in action once again very soon against Riley Bates and Kurt Adams. It looks like now if GM Bagman makes the right decision, and something tells me we're going to find that out soon on the SBW YouTube page. And I'm sorry that we had to show. Yeah, I can see the birds. You were definitely flipping the birds, and that
Not
was
to
Bane
you.
X. No,
Not
I
to
got
you.
that. I got that.
Not to you.
You could flip the bird to me too. You won't hurt my feelings, but
No, no,
but
no.
obviously that's okay. But certainly not the news we had anticipated, and it looks like you'll be getting an opponent, but now two opponents it seems very soon.
Why do I open my mouth? Why?
I don't know. I listen. I don't know. You were victorious, and I guess what comes around goes around. But we got some people here in the chat, and I want to talk about a couple things with you here because I do want to change topics. So let's do that now.
Yes.
Zilla's in the house. Zilla would like to say hello. Yes, thank you, Zilla, for letting us know you're here. Always good to see you. A man that's become a fan of yours, and I'll get to his comments. The Underground OG, Mr. Darkron / Johnny Velocity, the ROEW Prestige Champion, wants to say hello. Skulls wanted to say good evening, gentlemen, and the man from the West. And Zilla wanted to congratulate you. And speaking of people, by the way, I would love to know your opinion on this psychotic freak of yours, your brother in arms in those Reapers, those of course the LBYW Reapers, the North Dakota Reapers, and he wanted to say Mr. Soar is annoying. Everyone knows that, and
100%.
I was wondering what you thought about your brother in arms, Mr. Psychotic Freak.
Before I joined the North Dakota Reapers, I was thinking that's a kind of psychotic freak needs to go back to the psych ward. But now, after knowing that he is a part of the North Dakota Reapers, I think he's welcome in our society just fine. If psychotic freak, if he could help out our society by giving us that freak math that he so wonderfully knows off the top of his dome, off the top of his head, I could probably learn some math in this equation, learn how Bane X is able to talk to our goddamn general manager with such ease. I could learn a couple things here or there from Psychotic Freak. And I honestly think that in all seriousness now, I think Psychotic Freak is probably I think he's an interesting fellow when it comes to in the ring. I think he has an interesting style. We both know that. Interesting way of talking. We both know that.
I'm aware. I'm well aware.
He's an interesting fellow, but when it comes to in that ring, Reverend, I know firsthand, personally, I've seen it with my own eyes. Across the ring and from the little short bit that we had in the ring, he's quite literally one of one, and I would not want to be stepping across the ring from Psychotic Freak at all.
He's got a lot of size. He's definitely a guy very hard to push around. The doctors tried to stop him from competing in for his tag team championships. He still kept going, and he's a guy that definitely is hard to push around. And I'm gonna have plenty of things to say about him shortly. We're gonna run through some comments, and we're gonna come right back to him, I'm sure. So we'll do that. And speaking of people that have been staples on this platform, Mr. Dalton Skull wanted to give you some eyeballs. A man that I'm sure you're aware of. He is saying hello and watching closely. And look at that glorious man. He's not talking about Mr. Sore. He's talking about you out there. Also, Mr. Freak would like to say exactly why should anyone think they have a chance against Riley Bates? Well, I guess that could.
I would love to hear the freak math on that. I would love to hear the freak math on that.
Well, you know what? I'm not ruling anything out tonight. So who knows? Hello there, Zilla. And no one cares about the worst in the West. Now, that sounds like a preemptive shot towards some guy named Comatose. Now, you met him last week here on Sportswire Radio, and it seems like he's embroiled in this feud with a man that calls himself the GOAT of BYW, and he does have something in common. You have certainly no love lost for a man that Comatose just took a championship from, but certainly Mr. Freak, though, is no fan of Comatose and wanted to tell everyone and to remind you as well that he is the worst in the West.
Well, can't deny that logic. And, again, like I said on, when I met Comatose for the first time, I have no personal hatred towards the guy. As long as we both don't like Aaron Blaze, I'm fine with him. As long as he don't get his nose into Riley Bates' business as well.
But he's in the Psychotic Freaks business, and shouldn't that impact you as a Reaper? I mean, obviously, you've just praised the Psychotic Freak. So wouldn't that mean with the...
Yes, I see what you're saying. Yes. In a way, yes, it should be my business. But also in a way, Psychotic Freak can handle himself. The Alpha, he can handle himself. Napalm, you saw what he did at Haunted Hill Fest 5. He can handle himself. And myself, Riley Bates, I can handle myself as well. But when the moment when a fellow Reaper comes knocking, the moment a fellow Reaper asks for another Reaper's help, that's the moment that it becomes the North Dakota Reaper's business. It's not an all for one for all type of deal. It's I've got your back if you need my help. That's pretty much all it is. And if Psychotic Freak needs Riley Bates' help, needs Napalm's help, needs Alpha's help, hell, it needs all three of our help to take down one guy, we'll be there.
Well, I'm going to come back to some of that, and let me come to some further comments. Don't worry, Mr. Bates. We will have a meeting on Monday. We will go over some new things you can try to humiliate your opponents with. Okay. That was interesting. I did not expect that. If you'd like to hit the sub button for SBW, I would really encourage you to do so. And I want to say hello to our friends from the Midwest. That is our friends in the EWA who will be here Friday night. And Hubie Jenkins wanted to say he is subbed. Thank you, Hubie. Hubie will certainly be paying attention closely to what Killshot has to say, who seems to be an ally of Comatose, which are two different things, but thank you for that. Also, get Steven, get him off my screen, wink and a nod, Bane X. Yeah. We know who that is. And it's always bad when you're here for Mr. Bane X himself, and it's terrible news. Also, there I said it, Mr. Darkcrown wanted to say that he's a Riley Bates fan all day. He loved watching you out there in the ring, and he's the ROBW Prestige champion. He liked your ring style, and he's back here next Friday night.
Yes, I'll have to tune in. Yeah, I'll have to tune in.
Good man. Who liked your style. But speaking of people though that probably don't like your style that have tuned in, and no, I'm not talking about the Wilster. It's that guy there.
Ooh.
Yeah. Put you a tough spot there, huh?
Very, very tough spot indeed here, Reverend. I don't know. I like to say that again. I'll preface this: as long as Comatose, as long as Comatose and I agree on the fact that we don't like a certain headline, we'll get along just fine. We'll be just fine. But the moment that Comatose gets, I didn't mean
I see
that
what
one.
you were
I'll
doing
say
there. I see what you were doing there. He would be
I
toast.
didn't mean that.
He would be toast if he, was to go one-on-one with you, obviously, right? Because,
Yes, yes. Yes. I didn't mean that. Not gonna lie, I didn't mean that. But
I believe you. I
Comatose,
believe you.
if he were to get in Riley Bates' business, that's when we would have a problem. That's when we would have a problem. So as long as you don't get in Riley Bates' business, we're fine as daisies. But the moment he does stick his nose in the best wrestler alive's business, terrible place to stick it, by the way. But if he does, we'll have a problem.
Maybe he wants some of the gold that you have, because now that he has gold again, maybe that's something he's scouting. I'm gonna have to look through the comments and see what he further had to say. I think that'll be very, very curious if he follows what you had to say. Maybe I'm completely off. And there you go. Riley. Well, speak and you shall receive. I don't see you too happy nowadays, no matter what it is. I mean, I guess I'm still giving us the benefit of the doubt, but obviously here he's saying that you don't seem too happy.
I'll tell you what. I seemed very happy before
Bane X came on.
Before Bane X came on, yes. I was very happy before Bane X came on, and then once that happened, my happiness just sort of stooped down. But now that he's not on my screen anymore, the happiness has risen again. So, pretty happy.
Okay. All right, I hope so. I mean, I obviously I hope that would be the case. So we'll have to see what the future brings. And you were watching the footage here of those North Dakota Reapers forming addition by subtraction. And hello to Bane X and happy SBW Day. Although Mr. Bates is not too happy, but the Freak has said good riddance. He has said good riddance, and hit the sub button for LBYW. You can see more from those Reapers, and also oh boy, and like how to do math wrong. He's talking about that psychotic freak, and then there it goes. And Cryatos, I actually know how to do math, and boy, he says this now. Then the day the Reapers turn on him, the tune will change. You mean like your 500% chance I didn't win the title I won? Now, I don't know if this is towards you or Mr. Freak, but I've even heard, Mr. Bates, that apparently Mr. Freak is venturing into Comatose's world of the promo wrestling game. Well, what do you think about something like that?
Not on not in this realm of backyard wrestling. I have ventured my way into the promo realm one or two times. I have done it one or two times.
You look like you'd be good at it, by the way. You look like you'd be pretty good.
I'll say this. I won some titles here or there. I did.
Yeah.
I won some titles here and there, and I enjoyed my time. Unfortunately, some places that I did go, there were some politicking that I did.
Yeah, I've heard this story. I've heard this story. I've heard it.
Wasn't too much of a fan about, and so I decided to dip. And I would say that I would love to go back to it again. I would love to. It's just, I don't want to say time staking. It's just a lot of effort to put in to say a 2 to 3 minutes of running your mouth. And I give full respect to the people who do it, who makes it a lifetime hobby, who has the time for it. I appreciate the hell out of it, because I do think if you are lacking promo ability and you are lacking talking ability, that is the one place where I think you should go and try.
Absolutely. I have been a big supporter of promo wrestling for a while.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, it is 100% a big beneficial thing. Not only does it help you get better just to make yourself something, but it also helps you, if you're in the moment against somebody and you're talking back and forth, you have the abilities to rebuttal what they're saying, and also have the abilities to diss them in the same time. So that's why I mean, I enjoyed the promo ability. I enjoyed the promo realm that I was in for the short period that I was in there.
Sure.
But it wasn't for me at the end of the day.
Hey, listen, everybody's got their reasons, and I completely understand. And freak math is the stupidest thing ever invented.
Why are you still here? Go to bed.
He's allowed to comment. He that's his opinion. I'm not saying I agree or disagree, but he thinks it's the stupidest thing it's ever invented. Oh, how about that math on how AJ beat me? He's talking about the psychotic freak who said AJ Harrison would beat Comatose, or should I say didn't. And boy, here we go. There is Mr. Kron himself. And what are you going to do, Mr. Bates, if the freak comes for your title? Are you going to have to stand face to face with him? He brings that friendly fire point up there.
You know, if the moment arises where Mr. Freak comes face to face for Riley Bates' World or Union Championship, I guess it will just have to be a friendly competition. You know, we had the footage up earlier, Reverend.
Yes.
Myself and Alpha.
Yes.
Granted, we didn't tell the world that we were Reaper members before the match. We were Reaper members before the match backstage. And then we decided to show the world afterwards. We had a friendly competition. Granted, I fell short. I fell short of the mark. And Alpha beat me for my championships. But the moment when that stupid, no-brained, that little words I would love to say, but I can't say right here, right now.
If you want, I can give the beat button now.
I would love the beat button, but I can't. I can't. The Slap Go Flood came out and attacked me after the match. Alpha knew I was in trouble. I had already taken probably, 5, 6 final destinations. And, you know, I was down and out for the count, and Slapco came in, tried to beat me up. And, you know, at the end of the day, Alpha shook my hand. And I felt like right then, right there, and in that moment of time, it was the right opportunity to show the world that Riley Bates was a North Dakota Reaper. And I'll tell you what, that shot to the back with the crutch hurt, but this hurt 10 times more. Because
I could see that
thing was on my nose, and it was not a good moment. And I feel so bad. I feel so bad for Alpha here, and I did not mean to be a savage by biting his hand, but I'll tell you what, I had to do it because it hurt so goddamn bad.
Well, it by any means necessary. And the championship, though, that however Mr. Freak wants is Kurt Adams United States Championship. By the way, I had to ask you real quick before I get to some more comments. What do you think about that with the Wilster who was in this group? And he also said, by the way, he wants to kill the group that he created. And he talked about the fact, after everything he said on here for months about Kurt Adams, he had such an about face, endorsed him as the face of America. And what is your opinions on all of what the Wilster had to say, where he endorsed Kurt Adams as now the new face of America and is apologized for everything that he said and did here on this platform as a part of the Reapers, and wants to kill this group that he created?
You see, I'm going to call him Willie. All right. Big old fat Wilster. All right. I'm going to call him that. Big old Willie. You see, he can call Kurt Adams the face of America all he wants, but I'm going to give you a little history lesson, Willie. You see, this championship right here, I don't know if you can read, but it says Union. It's probably backwards, but it says Union. It's there. Yes, it says Union. You see, the Union was created when we had an American Civil War to fight off the Confederates. And you see, if anyone's supposed to be the face of America, it's Riley Bates, because I am holding the Union Championship, the best side of the Americas, wherever you are from. The Midwest is the best side of the Americas. No offense.
I got you.
So if big old fat Willie wants to call Kurt Adams the face of America, he can do so, but the real true face of America is Riley Bates, the best wrestler alive, the one, the only. Gosh, I feel like I am a broken record, repeating myself over and over again every time I say this stuff. But it's the truth, Reverend, and I have to say the truth, because
I hear you.
Like honest, I cannot tell a lie, Boy Scouts honor, all right? I can't. And
I understand.
if Willie, big old fat Wilster, wants to say he wants to kill the group that he built up, buddy, you were kicked out because you lost against Kurt Adams. Plain as day. I wouldn't lose against Kurt Adams in that short amount of time. I know Alpha wouldn't lose against Kurt Adams in that short amount of time. I know Napalm wouldn't lose against Kurt Adams in that short amount of time. And I know that Psychotic Freak wouldn't
Of
lose.
all people, I mean, his history with the Wilster is almost more than anybody else's when you think of LBYW's history. I mean,
Yes.
I got it, but he doesn't want LBYW to end the way it did with you guys in Solidarity. He's really upset with that and such.
Well, if Wilster is upset with that, he has no right. He has no right to do anything about it because he's not a part of the North Dakota Reapers. And that's what I'm getting at here, Reverend, is that because we kicked him out, because the Alpha and Napalm saw the flaws in Willie, let's face it, Willie.
And the Psychotic Freak was the one that had brought up for months here on Sportswire that he was the weak link.
He was. Let's bring up facts here, Willie. All right, let's bring up facts. Willie, you are probably 50 some years old. What the hell are you still even doing on a trampoline at 50 some years old? You're old and frail. For the love of God, I don't know how you've held on to the United States Championship for over a whole year. You could have broken. You could have broken a fucking bone at any of those moments and times. Apologies. And on top of that, like my brothers have said, you are the weakest link, my friend. You claim to be the best mind in all of LBYW, but you've been replaced by the best wrestler alive. You've been replaced.
I said addition by subtraction. Listen, 2 for the price of 1. Yourself and the Psychotic Freak.
Yes, and I'll tell you what, 2 beats 1 and a great value deal. And I'll tell you what, if Big Ol' Willie has anything to say about what I'm saying right here, right now, he knows where SBW is. He knows
he's been
where
there.
We are at.
He's
been here. If he wants to test his luck against Riley Bates, by all means, go ahead and do so. But I will tell you the same thing that I told you in the comment section when you replied to myself and
Mr. Freak
and Mr. Freak and the Alpha, and that is being, go ahead, come down, try your luck. I would be a pleasure of me to put you in the ground 6 feet under. Permanently send you backpacking into that retirement
you'll finish
home.
The job that Kurt Adams
Permanently.
You'll finish the job that Kurt Adams didn't do. But you got a lot of comments, and I'm going to get to them. You're going to need the population of both North and South Dakota to beat me, all 5 of them. And he's talking about the Psychotic Freak.
God. Wow, what a comment on that.
Camel Toes could never win gold off of the best alive in the 605, and the math proves it. Oh, boy. But, just a lot. And, Tom, I'm really excited to make it back on your platform after winning the ROEW Prestige Championship. That is next Friday night, right after Thanksgiving, Black Friday. You're getting the deals, and it's a deal to have a man that arguably has helped build my platform. This is a man that has been here for almost 3 years, and he hasn't been here in months, and I'm excited to see him back on here. And I hope everybody that's here would tune in to see the Underground OG, and I hope you'll be here as well. Freak math is the greatest thing ever invented, and Midwest is better than anywhere else. I think Bates would lose quicker to Kurt Adams.
My man, you are way past your bedtime. You need to go to sleep right now.
Freak math for us. Babe, that's just wrong, and the math proves it. You have a negative 800% chance at winning the championship. That gives Riley Bates a 2,400% chance at retaining because of the Highway 83 factor. I mean, I didn't necessarily know that. And, Mr. Bates, apparently I have received word that there is somebody else that wants to have a chat with you on some of the things that they've said. I mean,
I swear to God, I've already seen Bay Nix. If I see that bastard Kurt Adams pop up, I'm gonna lose my shit.
I don't know if it's Kurt Adams. I don't think it's the Wilster, but I'm gonna share my screen because obviously this person doesn't work in SBW. They don't work in SBW, and they've heard many of the things that you've said the last 20 minutes, and they want to reintroduce themselves to you. and give them and you a piece of your mind on some of those things. So for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. Whoa, wait a minute.
Oh,
The
brother.
NYW Interpromotional Champion and the TPW.
Surprise, it's Kurt Adams. Surprise.
No, you don't wear
Oh.
flannel. You don't wear flannel. Kurt Adams wears flannel. I mean, you know.
Hello, Riley.
Hello, Comatose. How are
The
you?
best wrestler alive. I love that comment. You could
It
be the
is.
best wrestler alive as long as we both can acknowledge that I'm the greatest of all time, period, point blank, no matter where it is.
Oh.
Period. And your freak math might not show that, but your freak math also didn't think this was getting back around my shoulder for a record-breaking 4th time. But besides the point, I do have a question for you. I have a very, very, very important question that has been boggling my mind for a little bit as I've been hearing you talk, not just today, but over time in general. You call yourself the best wrestler alive. And yet, for some reason, it doesn't seem like you lead the North Dakota Reapers. It seems like that would be the psychotic freak that, as you were saying earlier before you got into the Reapers, needs to go back into the psych ward, right?
Mm.
Well, now he likes him and he wants him to be a part of society. Now he says,
Oh, isn't that just all peachy that now that you are a part of this faction that you want him a part of society? How cute is that? You want to run in a bug.
He's a good productive citizen now, is basically to sum it up what Mr. Bates had to say earlier about the psychotic. And he loves the freak math, by the way.
Which is wrong most of the time. I mean, ever since this freak math has been bestowed upon my face, it has never been right. But that's just me. But Riley, I would like to know, if you think so highly of yourself, why would you stand in the shadow of a 6-foot psychotic freak that lives in a jumpsuit?
And lives in an abandoned hospital also. He has repeatedly pointed that out on many Sportzwire episodes.
You know, to answer that question, I got to give you a little statement here, Comatose, and that is, you know, there's been great factions in the wrestling world. You know, did Owen Hart lead the Hart Foundation? No, he didn't. Did Cody Rhodes lead the Bullet Club? No, he didn't. Did
Randy Orton didn't lead Evolution.
No, he didn't. And you see, that's what I'm trying to say here, Comatose. You know, I appreciate it a lot that you think Riley Bates should lead the North Dakota Reapers. And I'll tell you what, in South Dakota, in the 605, I am. But we're not in North Dakota. We're not in North Dakota. We're not in the 701, I believe that's their area code. We're in the 605 in South Dakota. That's where we're at. And I'm leading the North Dakota Reapers from the 605. And I hope to God that my connection does not mess with me like it did last time. That way you can actually...
Don't you worry, it's not.
Okay, thank
Oh,
God.
it's not. You're clear.
Okay.
And I clearly heard all the things that you said, and I clearly heard all the comparisons, correct? But let's since we're so good at school subjects, and that's what you guys are best at, let's go through a little bit of history of those factions that you named, right? The Owen Hart Foundation. Owen Hart was, or the Hart Foundation, rather.
Well,
He wasn't the leader. He wasn't the leader. You're right. But what did he end up becoming after he left that? He became the WWF World Champion. Now, Cody Rhodes in the Bullet Club, that's a very interesting one. A very, very interesting one. You see, he wasn't the leader of the Bullet Club. But what did that lead to? A Bullet Club civil war. And now, let's go to Randy Orton in the Legacy. He wasn't the leader of the Legacy, but because of that, Evolution, you're right, Evolution.
Yeah.
But because of that, what did that lead to? That led to Randy Orton pulling a psychotic freak and breaking into Triple H's house and beating the absolute dog shit out of him, right?
And the most viewed video in YouTube history is Randy Orton RKOing Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah. So, from what it's sounding like to me, it sounds like you're using a little bit of freak math to tell the world that at some point, Riley Bates, being the best wrestler alive, is going to get a little tired of playing second fiddle to a dude playing Halloween in a freak outfit.
You know, that's funny you said freak math. That is so funny that you said freak math and you talked about Halloween, and we just saw that footage from Haunted Hellfest 5 because apparently I have received word, Comatose, there is somebody here
Oh,
that
what?
is now
Great.
a member of the same roster you are in, and that's TPW. And that's
This
the
guy.
psychotic freak, and he's decided to show up tonight. Boy,
He did. He
Yeah.
did.
Thanksgiving.
Him and all 3 of his hair follicles have decided to
All
show up
3 of
tonight.
them.
I'm glad you brought them all.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank
you
you.
gotta deal with him, Comatose, because now Rocky announced it last night on Sportswire. He's in the TPW roster now. He's a part of your locker room.
He is.
Yes. Didn't you
Can we talk about a conversation that was had in the backstage for a minute? Can we bring that to light? Can we bring to light how as soon as I found out that you got signed to that roster, that the first thing that I said is that I want to give you your welcome to TPW moment, and you sat there
No,
silent like a little
don't do it.
bitch?
Oh,
Can we talk about that for a minute?
Yeah,
Can we talk about that? How you can
What's the
run your
freak
mouth
math
so
on
much
that?
on here
Yeah,
and
we-
so much in the comments, but you can't defend yourself when
Yeah,
the
we can
lights
talk
get the brightest?
Yeah, we could talk about that. My phone was blowing up from all these congratulation texts, so I didn't have to bother going below me.
Was
so.
that the congratulation text that you made bail?
What?
now this when you're
That was
in
way
the jail,
long
they
ago.
just
That
let
was-
you out
that
because
was
we
3
know
years
what
ago.
you can
That
do in
was
the
3
jail.
years ago. Everyone knows that.
Oh,
We're not
Okay.
going there with that.
and they're still coming because they're proud of the progress that you've made staying a sovereign citizen, right?
No, one of the people that messaged me was Mr. AJ Harrison.
Oh, that's a good point. Because I think Mr. Freak was here when apparently Mr. Harrison was talking about Comatose and the TPW champion, Dario Divine. And Mr. Harrison was here on Sportswire, and there was no Comatose yesterday. Is that what you're trying to go bring up to the point to Mr. Comatose, Mr. Freak?
No, I'm talking about how my phone was blowing up because I'm too busy and responding to.
Oh, you should have
no life.
piggybacked off that. That would have been good. Man, he threw you a lob and you missed the dunk.
Well, okay, listen, Mr. Freak, you brought up something interesting that Mr. Harrison has been saying. So it sounds to me like Mr. Harrison's going to be your coach and your mentor in TPW to help you to fight Comatose. Is that what you're saying here on Sportswire? That you have a coach and a mentor?
I have many mentors for my upcoming career in TPW.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about it.
And that will bring down the era of Comatose.
And the Enterprise. So you obviously,
Hold on.
sure going to be consoling with
Oh.
Mr. Bates after this episode, but it sounds like you could be speaking with AJ Harrison, and maybe Mr. Harrison has big plans involved because he knows you live in an abandoned hospital. He knows you've got friends like Riley Bates. He knows you've got friends like the Alpha and Napalm, and he knows that you share, like him, the same distrust for Comatose.
And many others.
Oh,
Oh, dude. Okay, hold on a minute. Let's just rewind the tape a little bit. Can you say exactly, word for word, what you just said again? It's the era of what? And who is living in what era? I believe that you just said that this is the era of Comatose, correct? Which means that it doesn't matter who's around you. It doesn't matter how many times you shave your head. It doesn't matter how many times you and AJ Harrison rub your heads together to make static electricity. All of you are living in the era of Comatose in 4K. And if all of you feel the need to band together to take down the almighty king of the West, what is more of a compliment than that to me?
Hold on. Living in the era of comatose? No.
Your brother just said that. Hold on a minute. Your brother said that word for word.
No. Living in the era of comatose? No. Listen, buddy, I'll tell you what. The Midwest is home to Riley Bates. All right, and the trains may be blurring because they're agreeing with what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is that you, my friend, your little era maybe down there, but Riley Bates, my friend, is up here, so much so that you can't even see the limit above the screen. All right, and listen, okay. My eyes must be adjusted, and so hold on. Let me just clean up
And
my
while you
lens
do
here.
that, Mr. Bates,
Maybe that happens.
you did remind Comatose that you had no issue with him. You had no issue with him.
I had no issue with him.
I don't have an issue with Riley at all. I just feel like his ears are clogged because he didn't quite hear the fact that his own brother just said that word for word. And for some reason, you're coming at me like it was my rhetoric I spewed. Maybe you need to correct the bald-headed freak right beside me that said that word for word first before you come at me, who was just piggybacking off of his comments.
Well, I'm just saying, my friend, you want to claim yourself to be the king of the West? King of the West, my friend. There is no such thing. You could compare a king to many things, but you cannot compare a king to a god. And I'll tell you what, you only spell God 605. I know that don't make sense, but it makes sense to Riley Bates. And how it makes sense is because Riley Bates is a god in the Midwest. Riley Bates is a god in backyard wrestling. And while my eyesight, I hope to God it's correct, because I only see one championship there, and if you look over here, I see two titles right here. And I'll tell you what.
Cute.
I'll tell you what. Hey, yeah, it is cute, but I'll tell you what isn't cute. When Riley Bates steps in the ring against Comatose and you get a right hand coming straight at your face, I'll tell you what. You, my friend, can call yourself the king of the West, but you compare none to a god of the 605. I'll patent that right now and put it on a t-shirt. God of 605. I think that sounds amazing.
But you know something? I gotta let you to the side for a minute, Mr. Freak, because I'm seeing something that I think a lot of people might be interested. Because I see Mr. Bates, and I see the way now he's forceful in talking to Comatose, and it would seem to me like a lot of people in backyard wrestling might want to see a king versus a god, or a goat versus the best wrestler alive in the 605. And I don't know how or when that could take place, but that would sound like a match that a lot of people in backyard wrestling might be curious in. Who is the best? Who is the best alive?
Well, obviously, it's Riley Bates. It's not even close. He would destroy him. He would mop the floor with camel toast. Okay.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness.
Did you just say what I think you just called Comatose?
Camel toe, yeah.
At least you didn't say camel toe on here.
I haven't heard that. I've heard that one like 500 times. And, you know, it's always a testament of true greatness when your greatest adversaries sit there and take the time to make a million nicknames based off of your one name. You see, I've been called Cryatos, the worst in the West. I've been called the Scream King. I've been called all sorts of things by people that don't like me. But you want to know what you all share in common? You take the time out of your day to think about me. I live rent-free in all of your heads currently, right now.
Now,
and that must bother every single one of you.
Now, I want to point out, I have received a message from AJ Harrison, who wanted to tell me, to tell all of you here and everyone else in the chat, he congratulates the Psychotic Freak on joining TPW, and he also wants to say that the Psychotic Freak, don't worry about what Comatose is saying here tonight, that he's got a plan for you, and he's got big plans for you in TPW.
You mean the guy I beat last week?
He said he's got big plans.
That's your mentor. Your big plan is to be mentored by a guy that I beat last week.
Well,
that's your big plan.
Was here yesterday and said just how close it was. Just how close it was. And
close only matters in horseshoes and hand grenades. I am still the victor. I still got the W. I still have this championship that your freak math said I wouldn't get. And guess what, buddy? it doesn't matter if me and Riley Bates step in the ring either, because it just seems like my old nickname that I used to carry around in the backyard is coming back to fruition. Anytime I step in the ring and say that I'm going to win, it's just inevitable.
Well, I'll tell you what. Apparently, Mr. Harrison also wanted to say that he knows the freak math. He knows the freak math, and Rocky's here, by the way. Rocky has arrived, boy.
That's what happens when the king comes, boys. The whole community follows. Like
Rocky must be loving the fact that the psychotic freaking comatose. This could be, who knows, a sign of things to come.
It might happen. He called the shot.
And Banex wants to point out that he can't believe he's saying this, but Riley Bates has more of a brain than comatose.
Well, that's completely fine. You can think that. I don't know who you are. I just saw you on Sportswire Radio here not that long ago.
You don't want to know who he is.
And as a matter of fact, it's hilarious that you comment this, because I was going to come in here and I was going to help you out. I was going to defend you. I was going to actually go toe-to-toe with this guy and say some things about him for you. But guess what? Now I'm not. Now you're going to have to get thrown to the pack of wolves because you decided to open your mouth.
Well, apparently, what I have heard is that Mr. Freak will have plenty to say on future episodes, because Mr. Harrison is watching this right now from afar, and he is observing this, and he is strictly telling Mr. Freak to just let Comatose do the talking, because Comatose is eventually going to hang himself with his words on Sportswire, because AJ Harrison's got a plan. He's got a plan for his newest disciple, the Psychotic Freak. That's what I've heard right now from AJ Harrison. That's what I've heard right now. Mr. Harrison is just saying Comatose will do all the talking, and that's where the freak math comes in, and the Psychotic Freak's going to come and show the world why he's one of the newest signees of TPW.
Yes, and for the freak math, and you mentioned a potential match between Riley Bates and Kratos, right? You mentioned this.
Oh, there's another one. Another one.
You mentioned this. And
I don't even pay rent in your head. I don't even pay rent.
Will dismantle him.
I don't even have to say anything, Tom. I don't have to say anything.
That's definitely gotten interesting.
So it starts with a 50% chance that Riley Bates will win this match. But Riley Bates isn't normal. He has 3 men that will help him win. So you multiply that by 3. That gives him a 150% chance at winning this match. But because this match will take place in Roseburg, Oregon, possibly. That's in Highway 101. That gives him a 1,000% chance at winning this match. And if you take the negative
to my territory
that he has, that gives Riley Bates a 2,000% chance at winning this match. Obviously, that is the most basic stuff you'll ever hear.
It was also basic when you said I was going to lose the 6-man elimination too, right? Well, I'm just saying, because your math's not adding up. He's coming to my territory, and yet somehow that gives him an advantage over me.
Well, he said that because it's 3 men coming with him.
Three.
Oh, congratulations. I have a whole roster waiting for you right at the door.
Freak math.
I've been waiting for you at the door. Look.
It's that freak math. And I tell you what, but I heard Roseburg, Oregon. Am I missing something there?
No, you're definitely not missing something.
I must be. I'm a part of the roster. I must be missing something.
And I haven't seen him in God knows how long, but Nolan Money McDermott got the eyeballs there. Jordan Crowley definitely wanted Riley's lenses to be clear.
Oh shit, dude.
And Steiner did better math than that, and what he's saying, and that's saying something. But like I said, you got AJ Harrison. You do have AJ Harrison, who I know is going to be plotting for you, plotting that course to get you to where you need to be in TPW. And maybe you're playing mind game. Maybe this is mind games with Comatose. It is mind games. Maybe you're turning the tables on Comatose. I mean, you've got the freak math. You just told him Roseburg, Oregon, and who knows what the future may bring.
If this is mind games, this is the worst bit of mind games I've ever seen, because I've just been laughing the entire time. Like, if mind games is a comedy act, then goddamn, you are the best ever.
Well, like I said, you'll have to find out. Apparently, we're all going to find out, and obviously, Mr. Harrison also wanted to tell me that He's got a plan. He's got it all figured out. That's what Mr. Harrison's saying. He's got it all figured out. Got it all figured out.
Yes, you're going to go first place, hair transplant. That's the first step. That's the first step to beating me. Second step, putting on some normal clothing.
Well, he is from the abandoned hospital, though. We don't, obviously, listen, that's all. Listen, I'm not going there. It is the holiday season, and I have to certainly say, we'll find out. But, Mr. Bates, and obviously, I want to apologize tonight because, first of all, you had to deal with Banex. That was one thing. You had to deal with Banex with that announcement.
That was one
that
thing.
announcement where now you're going to have to defend your SBW Union and World Championship potentially against both him and Kurt Adams. But then you had to have Comatose come on here. And then we had your brother in arms here, the Psychotic Freak. And I could see Comatose was trying to pit you two together. But I wanted to give you an opportunity. Do you have anything else you'd like to say or anything that maybe you want to address even to Comatose?
First things first. Try to fix the lens here, buddy. It's not a smudge. It's called lens flare. Maybe if you'd actually go outside and see sun, you can know that.
Yeah, that was a little wild. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I'll say this, and I apologize, Mr. Comatose, because I apologize, and the reason why I apologize is I kind of got a little amped up there, and I didn't mean to. All right, the only reason why I did was because you claim yourself to be the era of Comatose, and I know Psychotic Freak said it. I'm sure he was trying to say something else, and I'm sure Psychotic Freak knows what he's talking about, and I know he did not mean to say the era of Comatose. What he meant to say was the era of the North Dakota Reapers. And I'll say this, and I'll preface this, and you can rebuttal however which way you want to. I'll say this: if the stars align, if the moon aligns, if everything aligns, all right, if somehow, some way Riley Bates does end up in the same ring with Comatose, whether it be in Oregon or whether it be in South Dakota, all right, whatever it may be, I want to let you know firsthand that if the bell rings and it's Comatose versus the one, the only, the King of the West versus the best wrestler alive in the 605. Fair game to you if you beat me. But that's a very, very big if. Only a handful of people have beaten Riley Bates. And I will go down swinging, and I will say that I will be damned if I let a king beat a god. But with that being said, I have no personal issues with you, my friend. I have no disrespect with you. You and I hate the same person so goddamn much that I respect you for it. And I'll say this. If Mr. Psychotic Freak and you ever step into the ring, I will have to root for my brother in arms.
Oh, I don't blame you. That's fine.
Yes, but if you beat him, I will congratulate you, and I will say to Psychotic Freak, you did your best. We'll get him next time.
Okay, well, you know what? I guess that reaffirms what Mr. Bates has said at the very beginning when it came to Comatose. And we'll have to live and let live. And I think that that's a very valid point. And if you'd like to follow Riley on Instagram, I would highly recommend you do that. If you'd like to also check out SBW, because SBW has a lot of stuff coming up here in the pike, I would really encourage you hit the sub button for them, and you can do that there. You've seen many LBYW talents there. Well, some, I wouldn't say many, but you've seen a fair amount of them. So if you'd like to hit the sub button for SBW, please do that. We'll have more coverage from SBW, and also we will see more, I have no doubt, of Riley Bates talking about this. So there you go. And Mr. Freak, I know obviously Rocky's here and he's excited to see you a part of TPW, but was there anything else you wanted to say maybe here before we were getting ready to sign off and such this evening?
Before I go back down to the morgue this evening and plan my plot against the evil comatose.
Oh, he's just laughing. He doesn't even have to say anything. And he might be getting secret messages from AJ Harrison as we speak.
The end is near.
I hope
I need to burn you alive. So be it.
Oh my God! It's like if Hornswoggle teamed up with James Ellsworth and said they had an evil plan to beat AJ Styles. That's hilarious.
You know what? I tell you what, man, I am terrified of him. And listen, Halloween was almost 3 weeks ago. I would not get anywhere near this man. Riley Bates knows that first, and that's why he is his brother in the Reapers. And if you want to find out more from the Psychotic Freak, please follow him on Instagram. He is the newest member of the TPW roster, and I expect very big things from him because he is now a disciple and protege of the TPW United States champion, Mr. AJ Harrison, the Don of Combat, who I want to point out, the Don of Combat has been a very successful martial arts champion, a successful actor, a successful radio host in his own right, and he is now mentoring the Psychotic Freak. I want to point that out there. So I expect very big things of the Psychotic Freak in the TPW roster, and that's just going to give Comatose some fits, and his plan may not even be to win. Remember, AJ Harrison said on Sportswire on Friday, it's not about wins and losses. It's not about wins and losses on here. This could be mind games. This could be distractions. This could just be to get Comatose off his game and maybe to cause further dissension in the enterprise. Maybe this could be the plan, and the Psychotic Freak may not be here for wins and losses, but to be a decoy, to certainly get to what has been going on between Jerry Main, Mr. Dario Divine, the lover boy himself, the TPW champion, our TPW Change of Fortune champion. But please follow the Psychotic Freak on Instagram and join him. And also, if you are here and if you have followed already Rowley on Instagram, hit that sub button for me on YouTube. Mr. Comatose, obviously busy man. I will be watching your most recent promo you shared on Instagram with a man, AJ Storm, a man I know very well. And certainly we know a lot about him on this platform. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to say a few final things here before we sign off and such.
All right. So, first of all, to put out the normal plugs, everyone, of course, go check out TPW. Of course, it's the greatest promo wrestling federation on Instagram, and it's only growing in talent. And then after you check out TPW on Instagram, go follow my journey on BTW as well. Go follow my journey on cementing my legacy as the greatest backyard wrestler of all time. And that's just a fact of life. But what I would actually like to say is this. All of this has been so hilarious to me. All of this has been so comical to me. I'm not even taking this seriously anymore. But what I will throw out is a serious challenge to both of you.
Oh.
Mr. Riley Bates, Mr. Psychotic Freak, if either one of you ever had the pleasure of stepping into God's country in Roseburg, Oregon, and it's funny you call yourself a god because you would think that you would want to be there. If you just so happen to find your ways there, I promise both of you a shot at my interpromotional championship. First match. And not only that, Mr. Psychotic Freak, welcome to TPW. You want to know what's going to happen after I win for a fourth time with this Change of Fortune Championship? That means I'm going to go on and challenge for the TPW World Heavyweight Championship. And as soon as I win that, I will give you the first shot at it.
Well, I definitely heard something there. That was Roseburg, Oregon, and that was the Mr. Freak throwing that in the freak math, and I don't know what the future may bring, but that could be right around the corner. But I know one thing. If you'd like to follow BTW, you can do that by hitting the sub button. If you'd like to follow TPW on Instagram, and I'm sure we'll talk much more about this because the Psychotic Freak has joined it and big opportunities. And by the way, I have to announce it. Rocky is back on here. Rocky returns Friday, December the 5th. And obviously, Mr. Freak, you're welcome to join and obviously talk to the boss and obviously I'm sure Comatose will be around the corner, and
Oh, not just Comatose. Wink.
Mr. Jordan Crowley said he didn't know who to root for or against tonight. Well, the public will figure that out as well, and we'll see what the future brings. Who knows? Riley Bates versus Comatose, Mr. Freak in Comatose with AJ Harrison in his corner, and TPW, and also, by the way, SPW. We have to find out what happens with Riley and his championship, and will he be defending it against none other than Bane X, who was here earlier, and this guy, Kurt Adams, who doesn't quite look like Comatose. Just want to make sure we get that out there. But obviously,
Ugly version. Ugly version.
But fellas, I think there's endless opportunities, and I know that we'll be talking BTW November to Remember at some point next week, and I'm sure that means Comatose will be around the corner. And before we sign off, he's now thrown the gloves off. He's come here and commented. I find it interesting. I'm preparing for the greatest triple threat in the history of promo wrestling, and I'm being talked about. Comatose lost to Nathaniel Rage, and now I'm left to fix his mess. There you have it. EPW's talked about it, and AJ Harrison wanted to be here in support of his protege and the man that he's going to lead in TPW for success, and that is the Psychotic Freak. And Mr. Harrison obviously wanted to show solidarity and respect to his newest member of the locker room, Mr. Psychotic Freak. And obviously, Mr. Harrison's a busy, busy man, but he wanted to come here and show solidarity toward his brother, the Psychotic Freak. And obviously, we'll have to see what the future is. And by the way, Mr. Harrison will also be returning back to Sportswire to talk about what happened in EPW, and who knows what the future brings. But fellas, I want to thank
one more member for AJ Harrison that just so happens to be bald, and you guys can call yourself the Bald Bandits.
Well, he's got a little more hair. He's got a little more hair on the top. I would say Mr. Freak's not quite bald because listen, he will kill the barber. This man's been in prison. This man's been in psych ward. This man has been thrown out on this platform after what he did to previous individuals that used to be in the Reapers. So I wouldn't quite get in the middle of this man. This man was also one half of the tallest team in BYW history to hold championship gold, and Riley Bates knows it firsthand. That's why Riley Bates is accepting the Psychotic Freak in society, and that's why they're okay right now, and I certainly wouldn't want to be in the crosshairs of him, and who knows? Listen, before we sign off, Comatose and Psychotic Freak, it could be fun and games here, but in that ring, with the Psychotic Freak size and the ammo he's got here tonight, as I stated, he's going to let the talking be done here. And all the walking and all the wrestling will be done when the time comes. And the Psychotic Freak will take it. Yes, sir.
Bring your A game.
I would love to not end this. I would not want to end this just because, like you, Comatose, I am finding this whole thing hilarious and funny. You know what? You are actually making my body warmed here in this goddamn cold-ass environment that I am in. But I'll tell you what. You said one thing that's very, very funny and very amusing in my opinion. In my geography and weather knowledge may not be all existent and up to date this time of year, but isn't Oregon, maybe, it's close to Washington, but isn't Oregon, wet? Like, don't it rain?
Yes.
Don't it rain every single day and every single time?
Let me clear your confusion. Roseburg is near California. It's on the California side of Oregon. It's actually in the desert.
So it's the hottest place of the year and the hottest place of the time, and it's the hottest place. That don't sound like God's country, my friend. What sounds like God's country is the greatest plains to ever happen in the whole entire
Please
Midwest.
don't say what I think you're going to say.
Country, what sounds like God's country are the faces carved on a rock. What sounds like God's country is South Dakota.
Oh my God, he said it. Oh my God, he said it.
South Dakota versus Oregon.
So I'll tell you what. You can put up the differences between South Dakota and Pennsylvania. You can put up the differences between South Dakota and the coast. But I'll tell you what. If it's Oregon versus South Dakota. South Dakota is hands down God's country. I thought you were going to say Texas, and for a second, I was going to say maybe everything's bigger in Texas, just like your ego. Maybe everything's bigger in Texas. But at this moment in time,
Coming from the guy calling himself the best in the world.
At this moment, shush, kid. At this moment in time, the God's country is South Dakota. So, Freak, I am ecstatic that you said that I would love to go to Oregon. All right, I'm ecstatic that you said I would love to go to Oregon to face Comatose. But at this moment in time, I don't view Oregon as God's country. I view Oregon as the hottest place on earth, practically hell. All right, so at this moment in time, I would say that if a match were to happen between myself and Comatose, I would say that it has to happen in God's country, in the Midwest, in South Dakota,
Whoa!
SBW.
The tables have been turned.
Yes, if it has to happen that way, it will. Hey, maybe you can get your company to send me a plane ticket and I'll go out in the blazing hot sun and fire and hell, and I will beat you for your championship. Maybe I'll just beat you clean as day, 1, 2, 3. Again, no offense. It's just friendly competition here. I don't disrespect you, my friend. I don't claim to hate you. We both hate the same guy.
I don't hate you at all. Definitely.
And for you, Comatose, this is what we've received. We've received word, and we received this photo once again. And Mr. Harrison, you could see it there right for you.
AI is wild. AI is wild.
No, that's real. That's 100% real.
It's real.
I don't want to hear any more percentages come out of your damn mouth.
Listen,
please.
You don't need a percentage.
This was paid for by enterprise money. This was enterprise money. This was paid for by.
I read it.
Definitely was not.
I read it in the news.
I can second that. Freak read it on the news. I saw it on the front page of the 605 newspaper. All right,
says it was paid for.
You're all taking drugs together.
I don't take drugs. I don't do drugs. Drugs free, right here.
Well, you're definitely seeing things.
Both, but there you have it. Just quite an episode. Yeah, who knows? I would love to see Comatose and Riley Bates somewhere. And
I would love
that would be, I hope, as soon as possible. And Mr. Harrison wants to say we'll see about mentoring Mr. Freak. And Rocky says everything is bigger in Texas. And also Zilla has respect for AJ Harrison. And also Mr. Harrison wants to point out that you saying Dario is a liar. Dario Devine, your brother in the Enterprise. Well, all of that here we'll have to find out. If you are here, do me a favor, though. Please support all the great companies that have been on here tonight. SBW, LBYW, BTW. And if you have a chance, do me a favor, hit the sub button for SBW. SBW is at 370 subs, so we gave him 1 sub tonight. If you are out there, you like hearing Riley for the first time, go watch his product, go support his company. You give him 2 subs. I'd appreciate that very much, and we'll have more coverage from these guys. They'll be back on here. Also, support AJ Harrison on YouTube. He's got a lot of subs, and who knows what the future brings. But, fellas, we want to thank you so much for your time, and I obviously can't wait to see what happens with all 3 of you men, and regardless of where it is, I hope to see all 3 of you in a ring somewhere together and doing what? I'll let the powers that be decide that, and thank you, fellas, and congratulations on your successes, and we look forward to seeing you all, fellas, here soon. All right, that was certainly a memorable episode. That is first of at the top, the man that had quite a number of people interrupt him. That was the SBW Undisputed Champion. Yeah, too many. The best wrestler alive in the 605, the one and only Riley Bates. We're also joined by the newest member of TPW, and of course, the innovator of Freak Math, the Psychotic Freak, the man that was one half of the tallest tag team to ever win championship gold in BYW, and the man that has always seemed to be talked about on Sportswire Radio, the 4-time BYW Interpromotional Champion, Comatose, the GOAT of BYW, and unlike what the Psychotic Freak says, the king of the West, not the worst of the West, and my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally with all music and wrestling matters. We'll be here. I'm not sure when tomorrow, but we'll be here Tuesday night with Yoshi Matsuda, who hasn't been here in a while. So we'll see what he has to say. But stay tuned for what I'll be doing tomorrow, because I'm not here in the evening, but we may be here in the afternoon. But until then, hit the sub button for us. Hit the sub button for all these men's companies. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one Global Radio, the Sportswire Radio, where